Enter Shikari formed in 2003. If anyone had said this is what we would become, we would have probably laughed and said, pull the other one. We never really had any like towering aspirations or ambitions. Like, it was very much just a hobby. And it was a hobby that got out of hand. It was very slow. Like, I guess it was about 3 years before anything sort of happened. Like, we played Download in 2006, 2007, and that was like the first time where we sort of like, oh, we're like a band. Like, we're being considered like a real band. We grew up in a very much DIY punk scene. We put on our own shows. We promoted locally, mainly because of necessity. There was one local promotions company, and at the start they wouldn't put us on. We were probably a bit shit, like, let's be honest. So we ended up just booking the same venue that they booked and put on a show ourselves. And that just grew and grew, just putting on local bands. We had a really thriving local scene. And I guess then it was just the next stage. So we started recording our own music, managed to borrow a load of equipment from our school, just set up in Chris's parents' garage. And yeah, by the point that things were starting to kick off and labels were starting to knock on our doors and take us out for meals and, you know, schmooze us and all that kind of thing, it was that like learning process of like, so what are they going to do that we can do ourselves? And we kind of realised that we've done a lot of the hard work in just the touring, because it's the promotion, it's the marketing that costs the money, and we'd already kind of done that just through hard graft, really, just up and down the country playing shows. There's still no better promotion than word of mouth. Like, it's just, if someone can enthusiastically tell their friends that you need to see this band, that's better than any like marketing or billboard or anything can provide you with. Yeah, so we were lucky enough to at that point meet our manager, and he helped us up setting our own label. Technology has brought the ability to make music to everyone, and that's the thing that I love. You know, you can record, buy a laptop, and you've got pretty much everything you need on there to make a really good sounding record. There's something very beautiful and unifying about music bringing people together and everyone being involved in it. So the more that everyone can be making music, no matter if it's good or not, it doesn't matter. I think it's just a beautiful way of either relieving tensions, that sort of catharsis, or just, you know, dealing with life's problems, and it's just fun as well. It's anything that helps creativity blossom. I think it's gonna benefit people in some way.
Money is made when bombs are dropping in Afghanistan, when white phosphorus falls in Palestine, foreign weapons are record.
Basically, from day one, we've always put pretty much everything we can back into our shows. Like, it goes back to the first time we, before we were even signed to PS, we sold out the Astoria in London, sadly, no longer there. We were the second unsigned band to do that, to The Darkness. We were taken into a little room a few weeks before that to decide, make the final decisions about the production and everything, and our tour manager was like, okay, we've got this amount which we can spend on lasers, or we can spend this amount on like a general lighting package, and we can have this. And we were like, so what happens if we get both? It was like, well, then we won't make any money, we'll lose about, you know, a few thousand or something. And they're like, okay, let's do that. And that's kind of always been the way we've worked. So yeah, a good way to put it is if the band sort of stopped now, like, I don't know, one of us died, or everyone just decided they didn't like us anymore and we had no future, we would have to get another job immediately. We don't have any savings or anything, because we like making like a show, you know, like as much as we grew up in a punk scene and we love playing in those dirty, sweaty little venues where all it is the only production value is the sweat and the intimacy and the passion. Like, you can't beat that. But also, I love making something that's like theatrical. I love like not just targeting the ears as the senses, you know, making it a full onslaught of all the senses, so having the lighting, the production. I think it's just another way of being creative, another way of like getting your art across. So that's something that we've always wanted to do. Yeah, the whole question of just like advice for, you know, young bands starting out and things, I always find a tough one, and I usually have to just fire a question back straight away and just like, what is it you want? Because sometimes that question is framed with the word success in it, and if it's framed that way, then you have to say, well, how do you define a success and all that? You get quite philosophical and get yourself into a deep conversation. Because, you know, if it's, like, I was asked that question in a similar frame, like, you know, how does a band get big, in this Q&A that I was doing once, and what can I do, what's your advice? And somewhat sarcastically just said, well, write sort of fairly bland music, don't have an opinion on anything, don't make any statements, God forbid don't say anything marginally political. If you can, look very good at all times, spend much more time on your appearance than your music. You know, just rattled off loads of ironic things. Because I think that is the case, and it's weird that we've got to the level that we have. I think it's we're a bit of an outlier, really, a bit of an anomaly, because we kind of defy all those things. We're making music that's not just, it's very much not middle of the road, regardless whether you fucking hate our music or what. Like, it's not middle of the road music. It's very diverse, it's very extreme, very dynamic, and yeah, we're still an independent band on an independent label, and we also are quite frank and direct on lots of social issues, and those three things should not equal, you know, the size that we've got to. And I think the most important things are just being honest. Like, people can spot a band when they're not being honest, like whether it's musically, whether it's in a music video, whether it's on stage. Like, you have to be completely comfortable with what you're making, be in control of it, not being told what to do, because it's going to come through. The people who like your music like it for a reason. If you're making music that you enjoy making, you are probably the biggest fan of your music. Like, if you're not the biggest fan of your music, then you're probably not enjoying yourself. Like, write music that you love. And then if people love that with the same degree of passion that you love it, you are immediately connected to them. You already know so much about them. You could be best mates with them. And that's how you should look at the people that like your music, not as fans, not as walking dollar signs. So avoid that by all means, and people will appreciate it, and they'll stick with you.